Hey guys, welcome back. So the Deathly Hallows are three of the most powerful objects ever created. So powerful that they actually became a myth, a legend surrounded by mystery. By present day in the wizarding world, they were nothing more than a children's story from the tales of Beedle the Bard. Yet for all their power, for all they promised, Lord Voldemort never sought any of the Hallows. Gellert Grindelwald and Albus Dumbledore deemed their hunt for the Hallows crucial in their plan for wizarding dominance, but not the Dark Lord. In today's video, we're going to take a detailed look at why Lord Voldemort had no interest in the Deathly Hallows. So, welcome back to the world of Harry Potter, and please enjoy the video. The Elder Wand in the right hands is the most powerful wand in the world. The Resurrection Stone, an object that can reunite the holder with their lost loved ones, and the Cloak of Invisibility, the most powerful invisibility cloak in the world that never loses its effectiveness as other cloaks do with age. Any person to hold all three simultaneously would therefore be known as the Master of Death. The power to take a life, the power to resurrect life, and the power to hide from death itself. It's no surprise that over the centuries, there have been Deathly Hallow fanatics, people convinced that the Hallows were actually real, and those who even found some of them. Yet Lord Voldemort never once gave them a second thought. He never gave them a first thought either. Now, he is no fool. We all know it's an area that the Dark Lord would have come across at some point. Everyone knew the story. Well, maybe not everyone, but the vast majority of people did. So, why didn't he seek them out? Wouldn't it have made him invincible? I said at the beginning of this video that Grindelwald and Dumbledore were determined, obsessed almost with finding them. Well, maybe more so Grindelwald than Dumbledore. The Elder Wand itself leaving a very, very bloody trail behind it over the years that's seen it change hands more times than any wand in history. The Resurrection Stone hidden for centuries in a signet ring, and at one point right under the Dark Lord's eyes, and the cloak hidden but safely passed down through Peverell and Potter generations. Well, the thing with Voldemort is that he's different from your average villain. He doesn't seek out the object of power or value. He's not after the valuable diamond or weapon. Now, I know you might say, but he was after the Philosopher's Stone and sought out the precious historical objects that was to secure his life, his safety, his well-being. It was out of necessity to prevent his death. It was part of his plan to make sure he knew that he could not be defeated permanently. His goal was to achieve immortality. The Deathly Hallows never interested Voldemort because he had no desire for them. Now, you may be thinking, hold on, what man or woman would not desire the Deathly Hallows? They're legendary, even to simply collect them. Not for Voldemort. Let's look at each Hallow individually to explain why Voldemort had no need for any of them. The Cloak of Invisibility, the most powerful cloak ever created, literally undetectable. Who would Voldemort want to hide from? Who would he not want to take on face to face? That's the thing. He may be a horrific human, he may be absolutely awful, but he never hid, he never backed down, he took on all who challenged him, he took on Harry, Minerva McGonagall, Albus Dumbledore. He was in no way a coward. So, the Cloak of Invisibility was utterly useless to a man like him. It was shameful to hide when he was at full power. And yeah, I know he hid when he was in his spirit-like state, but that's because he was close to death. He was doing what he had to do to survive. Now, when it comes to the Resurrection Stone, we have a completely different result. No, we actually don't, I'm kidding. The stone allows a holder to talk to a hollow version of their lost loved ones, those who have passed on or temporarily allowed back to human form. Who did Voldemort or Tom Riddle lose that he may have loved? Nobody. Not a single person. Sure, he killed half of his family. He didn't understand love. Not even his own mother would be brought back at his accord. So, the Resurrection Stone, which would be viewed as magic beyond this world, an object that millions would desire, would literally sit before him unused. Maybe he knew what the signet ring did all along, but he just had no use for it. He also feared death. He hated death. It was a sign of weakness and mortality, so it kind of makes sense that he would want nothing to do with those who have died because, as we know, he frowned upon mortality so much. Personally, I think the Resurrection Stone represents everything that he despises, and I would not be surprised if he sought it out only to destroy it. The Dark Lord was immortal and would distance himself completely from what he'd consider an embarrassing form of magic. Then we have the Hallow that he did seek out, but not the reason you may think. The wand is known as the most powerful wand ever made. Only in the right hands is it undefeatable. Its allegiance changes far too often when it senses a power shift, but Voldemort never had any interest in acquiring it because he knew it was he who performed extraordinary magic, regardless of the wand. His ability and power alone would always be enough to outperform, outlast and overwhelm any opponent. The fact that someone actually created a wand to rival the raw energetic power of a wizard would be more of an insult to Voldemort instead. However, it was only when his own wand would not allow him to kill Harry Potter that he sought the Elder Wand to have the ability to end his opponent's life. That was the only reason. He was even growing frustrated at the wand's resistance to him, something he hadn't experienced before. If we even look at what the Hallows represent, when they're united, they make one the master of death. That's the complete opposite of what Voldemort wanted to be seen as. He wanted to be the master of the living, the master of immortality, basically a living god. So I don't think that the Dark Lord would have ever been interested in the Hallows for that reason, and as I said, he only wanted the wand due to the unforeseen complication, Voldemort's words, with he and Harry's wand being unable to defeat each other. So guys, with that being said, that is the reason as to why Voldemort had no need or no interest in the Deathly Hallows. They went against everything he was as a person and everything he actually believed as a person. But my question for you is this: is there any other reason as to why you believe he'd have no interest in the Deathly Hallows? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm always interested to hear or basically read what you're saying. Thanks again. I'll see you all in the very next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.